Hi everyone, this video will be in English with my French speaking English, so please be tolerant because I'm not that good in English. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I've decided to do it because I was on Lambda synthetic forum this morning and I saw some requests like, do you have an in-depth tutorial on the Polypulse? So that's what I'm going to do today. And to be honest with you, it's going to be the second time. Why? Because this morning I woke up at 3:30 in the morning and I wanted to do this Polypulse tutorial. I did it for 3 hours, but my main camera on top showing the Polypulse screen, I forgot to put the power supply. So after an hour, it just shut down and I haven't checked on my screen. So I'm doing it again with this main camera plus another one in case this one goes out. I'm totally paranoid now. I check the cameras and everything. So anyway, I will do a Polypulse from the beginning, from scratch. I will explain every movement, every encoder, every treble I add. And at the end of today's long video, I'm going to explain the cue system, my understanding of it, my way of playing it. So not too much talk. I'm not a professional into synthesis. I'm just turning some encoders. I like the sound, don't like. I can explain sometimes. I know the waves form. I know a little, but not as somebody that does modular synths. So I'm not a professional into that. But I will show you all features, all possible features. So this machine, I'll start by a main explanation of what it is. It's a 5-track, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with a 5 orange button on top here. And those 5 tracks are like 5 synths, 5 wave synths, 5 synthesis possibilities like subtractive, additive, FM, granular, external, because you can also control MIDI. Via MIDI, you can control MIDI notes. You can send some melody lines. You can send some sequencer stuff you did. But you also can control any parameters on your synths. You can attribute to your encoders any feature that you have on your external synth. So that's a totally complete machine. It has been designed, I would say, to have everything included in one box. Because you can have one drum box, groove machine on one pad. You can have a second one with a polyrhythmic stuff on the second one. You can have a granular synthesis for soundscape. You can have a bass, so like an additive or subtractive line for bass. You can have like pad. You can create your own pad. It's totally complete. It's divided into 5 sections, 5 pads, one for each track. This orange button allows you to select. I want to select track 3 and I'm working on track 3. I want to select track 4 and then I'm working on track 4. And then you have 5 send on top. The 5 send could be sent to internal. I'm going to show you inside where it goes. And then if you send it to internal, it goes to track 5. And then on the track 5, you can use effects which are in the box. You have delay, reverb, compression, limiter, and some other stereo imager or like stereo stuff. Anyway, and it could also be sent to one of the outputs. You have 8 outputs, 4 inputs. And one main, no, that's it. One MIDI in, one MIDI out. One of the mistakes that have been made by, actually, the amazing builder of that is Ward Slager from Netherlands. And so the one mistakes he did, but you know, the guy is amazing. It just inverts the arrow. So when it says MIDI in, it's actually the MIDI out, and the MIDI out is the MIDI in, but you have a stickers in the back, which is with the Polypulse, you have it with it. Then you have an Ethernet connection, so it's not USB, it's not Thunderbolt, anything, but it's mainly it's very easy. You put an internet cable, it goes straight into your internet connection on your computer, and then on your computer you open a browser like a Google or anything, and you just write polypulse.local, and then you access to your machine. It's good for firmware update, but you can also rename your folders, and you can add samples. It's an easy to go. You can't reorganize like on Windows 11 or Mac or whatever. You can't put a folder into another one that easy. It's just you have to know where you put your folders, and you can import, export, do some backups, and import some backups also. So it's very handy because it's on the screen. But that's the way to import sample into your Polypulse. It's to connect through the Ethernet cable, and that's it. But I think it's very stable because the rest of the time it's a closed box. It means you don't have to have any internet connection, nothing like that. It's okay. Then you have your 5 tracks that you can select, the 5 send, 5 volumes. So it's like a mixing desk where you have your 5 synthesizer, and you have your desk here. You can open slowly the drum, and then switch down the bass, and whatever you put into your engine track. So the first part of this video is going to be on the sequencer, because it's not a sequencer in 16, 32, 64 or whatever. It's just like a no limit sequencer, because you have in okay, let's start by I push the 2 main knobs are this one on the left, which is the X knob, and the Y knob here, X and Y. So I'm gonna put myself on track 1. Then I push the X button, and all the encoders are rotating plus push. And you have function by push and turn. And that's very important, because sometimes I was guessing where it is. How can I access this function? And mainly it's pushing and turning. So once you know this, you can access to nearly everything. Then you have the pad, like the old computer pads that I love actually, with all the function around, and like the black keys, 12 black keys in the middle, which corresponds to the 4 lines. We have here the sequencer, for example. In this sequencer we have 4 lines. To have a sound, the first thing you need to do is go to your track. If your track already has something, because that's the default settings, it already has a synthesizer. But imagine if you won't have any synthesizer, okay, you will try to put something, and then it will write, once you play the clock, no selected synthesizer, no selected synths. So the first thing to do is push edit track 1 or track 2, whatever track, and then you have all the synthesis engine possible. None. Then you turn the Y button, Substractive, FM, additive, Resonator, quad engine, Granular, external to control MIDI, and known. So we have done a tour of all possible synthesizer kind of model you have. We will start with what I love, which is a quad engine. Quad engine, it's like a 4-track drum machine. Okay, let's go. Then to validate, push the green button. Then I was trying to explain what the sequencer is about. It's not a sequencer like in a finish number of bits and it starts again at the beginning. If I want, I can do like 8 means that's so the smallest division you can have is 1. And the pulse correspond to what? The pulse is related to this clock button, if I push it, and the clock multiplication is on default mode, it's 8. What does that mean? It means every time you have 1 beat on the clock, on the metronome, you have 8 division. So every time you have 1 quarter note, you have 8/16 note. which is easy to understand for a musician. But you can also have, for example, in this engine, I have a division in 8. But if I'm on track 2, I can decide to have a division in 4. That means I won't, it doesn't make sense for now, but it means your clock on the beat, it's like if you decided that it's a quarter note, it's only divided in 4. So it's totally different. All your rhythm have to be resync. But it's really interesting if you put it on 6, for example, because you can have on one beat the maximum division 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on track 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the other one. And you can have like a 8 to 6, so a 4 to 3 to rhythm. So it's like polyrhythm. I hope I'm clear enough because it's English. It would be better in French, but I know most of the Polypulse people don't speak French. Anyway, clock multiplication, it's how I divide my beat. So if I'm back to the sequencer and I put an 8, it means 8 times the smallest division, so that means I will have one quarter note. I need a translation, sorry, because French is a noir. We call that a black. Black means a quarter note, and a white, what we call a white, is a half note, and croche means 8 notes, so it's crazy. So I need to have this under my eyes. So every time you have a quarter note, it means 1 quarter note per beat. So I want 1 quarter note per beat for now. I just want a simple thing. I'm on the sequencer. I have put, so you see there is a little line here that shows which line you manage, and the 8 encoders on the below are for sequencer. The 8 on top, it's like for tempo, sequence reset, so we'll see that later. Then you have that 3 times 4 encoder, it's for synthesizer sound. Then it's for envelopes, but it's also for effects. So it's for different functions depending of where you are in which menu you are. Here we are on the sequencer. What can I do? The 4 first button allow you to put on and off. So I put on my first line and I switch the clock, but I forgot to put oh sorry, I'm on track 2. Okay, that's why I didn't understand. The track is the number on the top left corner. It's so track 1, sequencer, 1 quarter note. Okay, it's on the beat, BPM. If I slow it down, you can listen. It's getting slower or quicker. And actually, there are 3 functions, or maybe more, I don't know, that I have been asking on the forum, and Ward is really answering all the requests. And one of the requests I had is to have a tap tempo using the push function of this knob. So if I push 2 or 3 times, I have a tap tempo below the BPM. So BPM is you turn right or left for increase or decrease the tempo, and you push to have your tap tempo. Thank you, Ward. Again, it's amazing to have this. So now I have my quarter note. What do I want to do? We will explore all the things we can do. We have actually 8 encoders. So as I told you, the X1 is to select the line. Then just above, it's to say, what do I want like a rhythm? So 8, it means 8 times a 16th note. So it's a quarter note. But if I want, for example, a dotted 8th note, it means 6 times a 16th note. So it's going to be 6. I just have to put 6, and then I have dotted 8th note. Yeah. But it has to be in relation with a beat, because we don't understand it if we don't have the pulse. So the pulse, we will put the pulse on the first line, which is an 8, and then we will change the length on the other lines. Then you have what we call the offset. We will use it just on the next, on the snare, because it's going to be the kick. Then we have the octave, 1 up, 2 up, and 7 up, 7 down. which is crazy. You will go maximum to 3 up or 3 down because it's a lot of change. Then you will have what we call a reset. A reset means we will do it. I want to be clear first, and then I want to go to all that details with all the line, because it's all related to a beat, and if you don't listen to the beat properly, you won't understand the subtle things. Then you have it's forward, backward, etc. Random. It's to play the melody if the sound is related to the piano. So if it's a sound that is related to the scale of the notes, you can use this one. Then you have random time, which is randomly in the beat. It could be it's like a randomization of how it's going to be on time. And the swing button, like any swing button. Sorry if I have some buzz in my speakers because there is a train. So first we put a 8 note here. Let's listen to it. If I want it to be a bass, I just lower down the octave. Okay, now I have a kick. Let's stop it. Let's now add a snare. If I want a snare, simple snare, I just put 8 because I want it to be every 8 16th note, but I want to be with an offset of 4 because I want boom, jack, boom, jack. But there is nothing. Why? Because I forgot to switch it on here. That's very handy because if you just want to listen to the kick and then kick snare, and you can very easily swap to another. It's like an on and off button of each line. Okay, here we have kick and snare. Let's slow down the tempo. Okay. Now we understand. It's okay. You've been understanding the offset. That means it's moved a bit above. It could be also moved on the other side. That means -4, and it's going to do the same. Okay. Let's put it back to 4. Now, we will see to have a hi-hat. So hi-hat, it's going to be on every 8 note. Yeah, 8 notes. So it's going to be 4. Then on off. But it doesn't work. Why don't it work? It doesn't work because the polyphony is on 1. It means every time you have an event that happens, it takes the event on top of the line. So the first row is the priority. Then if it's not the first, it's the second. And if it's not, etc. So I can't hear it because the hi-hat is going to be with the kick on the first and with the snare on the second. So what I'm going to do is to change my polyphony from 1 to 2. Now I have my, it's not a hi-hat actually, it's a ratchet. We will change it just after. Let's do now the number 4. The number 4, I want to do exactly the same. Now I want to change it to 6, like I said before, dotted 8 notes. So let's listen to the dotted 8 notes on its own. I switch it on and I've switched off the kick and snare. Now you can understand why it is interesting to have this. You can understand it if you have the beat, because if you play on its own, you don't know where's the tempo. So that's the ratchet and the hi-hat. I had the kick. And now the snare. I switch off the snare and ratchet and put it back. Kill the kick, put it back. Okay, that's the basics. Then if I want during a set, a show, to make the kick push, there is one way to do it like that. I put my line on the kick, then I will move the interval from quarter note to the 8th note. Then to a dotted 8th note. Then to a 16th note. Oh yeah, so I don't know if it's 16 or 30 second note. I don't know. Demi, semi-quaver or semi-quaver. Sorry. I put that back on 8. But just to show you how easy you can have fun with make it quicker. Seven. And now we've seen the offset, we've seen the pitch. Let's play with the pitch for a little bit on the ratchet. Sorry. Actually, it doesn't work. Why? Because I'm happy. No. It works on the kick, but not on the ratchet. It works on the snare. Okay. And one of the very interesting thing is the reset button, because it's not a sequencer like any sequencer. You will be like, you will feel like stuck because you want to do two, or two, like you want to add a rhythm, like change the rhythm of something. So you can do it by using that function. For example, if I have a kick in 6, but my reset will be on 16, it means I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 14 until 16. 6, 6, 4. It's going to do like that. I switch off everything except the kick. Six, 6, 4, 6, 6, 4, 6, 6, 4. So that's a groove on the kick that really works well. Let's do now something tricky. On 17, I'm going to have 6, 6, 5, 6, 6, 5, 6. That's very interesting. It's something that would be so long to set on another sequencer, because you will have to put the last note on 17 and choose and then move everything. Here you can just move the reset button on 17. Let's try it on 19 for the fun. So it's going to do 6, 6, 6 plus 1. And that is only one line, because I can do it on the next one. The other one I can put, for example, 15 on the other one, and that's going to do something. Okay, so it's not very danceable, but you know what it is about. It's very interesting if you think of your rhythm and you say, like in a bit like in Steve Coleman music, you have a guy in 5 and another guy that plays in 11, another one that plays in 13, and every 13 by 11 by 5 beat, they are all together on the first beat. It's totally crazy, but this machine can do it. And I can have on the reset button every 600 beats, 620 something, I don't know. And then you'll be on the first beat all together with 3 lines, one playing in 5, one playing in 11, one playing in 13, whatever I've said. Okay. So that's for the sequencer, and that's. I will show you how the swing works. Sorry, it has to be on the. Oh, I'm not on the right line. Oh yeah, okay, that's for this reason. Sorry, I wasn't on the right line. Now I'm on the right line. But it doesn't work on 8 notes. It has to be. Okay, now let's try the random time. Okay, it's like if you are in a music school and you ask your student to do something straight on. No, sorry, I'm very bad with students, sorry. Very bad, very bad. Okay, random time. I don't know what it is for. It's like to humanize a bit. So if you do it very properly, not a little bit, on a hi-hat, for example, it's gonna do something more lively, more humanized, just humanized, like in the string section when you had some random mistakes. Okay, so now we have this 4 sound. Where does that come from? So now we have the sequencer. I would say it's done. It's not incredible, but it's the way it is. Let me put that back on 4. Okay, I can see that I have some transparent beat on the 4th line. It's because my polyphony is set, actually it was set on 1, no, I don't know what it was set. If I add the polyphony, more polyphony I have, it goes until 8. More I will have all the sounds that play together, but also resonance. If, for example, you had a gong every 30 beats or 30 measure, but your gong will play, then it's going to be on its own. But if you don't add the polyphony higher, the resonance will stop once there is 1 or 2 events on top. So if you want your gong to stay below, and you still have resonance, add your polyphony high. But polyphony takes CPU power, and if you put polyphony at 8 on every track, you're going to have CPU issues. We're going to talk about that later. So I've set my polyphony to 4, for example, and we'll listen to what's happened. I have all the beats, everything is played, my hi-hat, ratchet, snare, and kick. Now, if I want to access the synthesizer part, I just have to push any of the encoders on the 12 encoders here. Let's push this one. On this engine, you have, so name of the track, the name of what you have in the 4 lines, so kick, snare, ratchet, metal. Then you have a volume for each, volume for kick, snare, ratchet, metal. You have some change, so we will listen to it. I will switch off the 3 lines and listen to the kick on its own. I push a button, so we can change the snap, and it's amazing. Listen. You can have a very dirty, badass snap, or just something very round. Just a sub. And you can go further by the snap decay. Until 2 seconds. I like it kind of short like that. 31 milliseconds. So that's for the kick. Then you have a volume until plus 18 dBs. And that's it. That's all you have for the kick. For the kick inside of the machine. Then we will see what we can do with the snare. You can change the tone and the decay. So it's like the metal parts below the snare. I don't know the name, but you can add it, make it shorter, or make it disappear. I don't like this snare, so we will change it. So what is the way to change to a real sample? The first thing we have to do is to do some shopping in the file menu. In the file menu, you have all your folder. I'm on the root, so I have my project name, but I create a folder named my name, kernel. And here I have some samples. Let's find a snare. I take a snare. And if I turn the X encoder, I have a preview. If the preview is too loud, I turn down the Y button. Okay, let's find a nice one. I take this snare. I like it. I push yes. Do you want to load it? Yes. I rename it by, so first I erase the letters or the name of the sample with the red button, and then I write it with like on the old keyboards on the old smartphone, not smartphone, old phone, mobile phone. PQRSMNAPQRDE. That's my snare. Are you happy? Yes, it's added to sample list. I'm going to be back to file because I want to do some more shopping. I want to be on the root menu, so back means red button to be back on the menu, and I want some hi-hats. And this time I'm going to do different. Oh, this one I like it, but instead of saying yes because I just want one sample, I'm going to hit the button, shift, and it will select it with the arrow on the left, and I'm going to find another one, this one, this one, this one, okay, and I push yes. Do you want to load these 4 files? Yes. Do you want to, if there was a hi-hat file, I could add them to this folder, but what I want to do is just create a new list, which I will call GH, like hi-hats. Okay. I have 4 hi-hats. What it's going to do now, it's going to play them in this order. And if I'm not happy with the order, what I can do is use the plus and minus button, not bottom, sorry, button. Woo. And I can change the order. If I touch the black keys, I can say, I select which sample I want to work on. I can, if like it's a mini keyboard, that means it will follow the melody and it will be sampled on the keyboard, like what is the name of that? It will be on the keyboard with a different, it will follow the melody that we will tell him. Return, it's like if you put a big envelope, it's like a 1 second sample, and you put a 6 second envelope, it's going to be played 6 times. So we'll see this later. We can take it or not. And this I don't remember. It's 3 of them. If I want to edit the sound, because it's a sample which is not well edited, I push yes. Oh, sorry, I was on it. And then I have the push and turn encoder X, and then I can decide to change the start, for example. It's already start. So if I if I turn the Y button, I can do my start a little further, but it's already well edited, so I won't touch it. So I push and turn my X button, and it says you can change the end. So let's see what. Yes, I can, for example, cut a little bit of the end of this sample. It says 93 milliseconds. That my normal stop is 153 milliseconds. I will shorten it to 93. Okay, it's just for the example. Then I turn again, push and turn, and then I have rate. So if I want this particular hi-hat to be higher, I will put 1.5 or 2. It's going to change the height of it. So it's like an octave or a fifth above or below. Below is in one on 2, 1 on 2.5, etc. If I push and turn again, I can change the DBFS decibel, and I can, for example, make this sound particularly loud, like a plus dB for this one, and the other one won't change. And if I push and turn, I'm back to start. So that's all you can change on the sample. You can change the start point, the end point, rate, and dB. So I'm happy with it, so I push yes. And then how do I get out this menu? So sometime I was getting crazy. You just push sample again, and you're back on the sequencer or the window on the synth. So now I push the synth again, synth part, and I want to swap this snare sound to one that I just choose. So what I'm going to do, I will use the second black button, which corresponds to the second sample. And I can choose if this second line of sound will be a snare, a ratchet, a metal, a hi-hat or a cymbal, or a sample. And I want it to be a sample. So I select it. And now we have a box that I've been changing. And it says, which sample do you want? And I will say, I want my snare. Let's listen to it. Okay, that's probably the snare I have shortened. Let's put the kick back. Oh, actually my kick is on 6. I will put it back on 8. Okay, to make it stupid. Let's listen to now the volume of my snare. Okay, the snare, I just choose one, I just choose one sample. But if I choose, for example, in the rhythm, instead of this rhythm, on the rhythm of this snare, I choose to put my hi-hat. So I change the sample to, so you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have 12, and it's exactly the 12 box here that are here. So I will put hi-hat instead. So now I have my 4. You remember I took 4 samples for my hi-hat list. So that's really interesting, the way you have to sing differently than other groovebox. You can have 4 sounds that's going to be played forward, reversed, differently. Let's see if I, for example, I put another, instead of forward, I say reverse. It's like another forward, it's forward plus reverse, random. It's very nice, quicker. It's never the same. Okay, it was to show you this function, and markov, it's interesting, particularly with melody, because it keeps the essential of the melody, but doing some randomness, but not like if it was totally random. So I like this function, markov. It's probably an algorithm or a guy that did something crazy, but I don't know. Random, and this one is pulse 1. What's that? Actually, I don't know. It's something new, I think. It just have been on the last update, and I haven't checked this yet. Okay, let's go back now to my synths by pushing any of the encoders. I will put it back to snare, and I want to change my hi-hats. I will put all the... I push back my sequencer. I put all the rhythm together. That's nice. You've been understanding the things with the hi-hats, so I keep the hi-hat for another sound once we will do the resonator list. Let's now listen to all the things we can do, like listen to the snare. I can change the rate. And as I told you before, we can... listen now to the... the ratchet. No, I will change the ratchet to my hi-hat. So I will choose the third box, black button. I choose sample. And then I have this sample that I'm going to put on hi-hats. And I listen to it. So even if you have only 4 lines, it's a 4 lines drum, but finally it could be a 12 lines drum. I already have 8 sound. And that's a minimum because we haven't go any further. I change the color of the... Yeah. It's subtle. I push back, put all the lines. Okay. So that's it could be nice, but the other very important thing is that row here. We will just listen to the kick. What is this line for? It's for envelope. So I push on it, and the first line is for the kick. So if I change what I call the decay, I can make a very huge kick. I can make like a reverse, a very infra bass, no attack, by push. So it's just a fade in, fade out, and decay. So we call that ADSR envelope. Attack, decay, sustain, release. So we have, we only have 3 of them, but we have attack, hold. It's like a decay, because decay or sustain, that's where I'm mixed up. And then that's, as I told you, I'm not a professional into that, but so ADSR, it's a ADR or ASR envelope. Okay, let's do a bit fat kick. Okay, I like the groove. Let's now put back the snare, and I change the snare envelopes. Change the volume. I like it. It's okay. I will add this one, my hi-hats, which are way too loud. Change the envelope by pushing. Push back, on off. Envelopes. Oh, sorry, I'm not on the right one. So that's Y encoders to go on the right line. Yes, I like it. Okay, that's for the quad engine. We will go to the other motor, but before now, so that's a section, we will focus on what we call morphing, because what I will teach you now for morphing, it's available for all the, so once you know about the sequencer, it's going to be the same for all of them. It's just on every synthesis, it's going to be different what you can do, because it's not the same. Substractive, additive, FM, etc. Granular and external, it's different. But the sequencer part, you've been seeing nearly everything. Let's first see the top high section. What we've seen, BPM and tap tempo by pushing 3 times. Clock, multiplication, so it's how much I divide my beat. So it could be 8 until 64. It could be 1 a minimum, so it means my beat will be 1. So it's if you want to slow down all your sequence by once. For example, I will do it. I'm in a division of 8. If I just turn down, it's divided by 2, because it went from 8 to 4, and now 4 to 2. So it's like dividing by 4 my tempo, and in 1 dividing by 8. So if I'm on the, if I turn on the right, it's going to jump from 8 to 16. It doubles the tempo. What is very interesting is that you encoders work by turning, and it jumps with multiplication, like 8, 4, 16, 32, 30, etc. But if you push, it's fine tuning. So you can push, turn, and you can have 9. So from, you can have a division which was 8 to a division which is 9 on the same beat. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 8, 1, 8, 1, 8, 1, 2, 1, 9, 1, 9, 1, 9, 1. So it's very subtle. Listen. Even if it looks like another tempo, it's still on a beat. So that's what's interesting. On its own, you can't listen to it really, because you don't have the feeling of a 9 on 1 or a 8 on 1. But once I will add another pattern, you will understand what it does, because if you don't have a relation to another rhythm, it's just quicker or shorter. Multiplication clock. Slide. Slide, it's a Portamento, but the Portamento is available once we have been looking at note list, so we will see that a little further. You had notes, and this note could be a slide from one to another, and this slide time gives you the Portamento. So if you want to do like theremin song to, you can, with a very high slide in millisecond and some note with some space in between and a big jump. It's nice. Polyphony from 1 to 8, we've seen this. So now, chance, it's very interesting because chance, it plays all the notes. At 0, it still plays all the notes, but you have some chance parameters further that makes it sometimes, you sometimes have random space. And if I go below, the snare disappeared. Then the kick now. It's nice. If you want to play on something which is live, you can have this random function plus this chance. And if you have like something which is granular sound, it's more like an effect and you want it to appear whenever it wants, put a very low chance level. So it doesn't work on a beat because a beat has to be a beat. But on a melody line, you can really do something nice. So let's put back my chance to 100%. Now what I'm going to say, I want to have this rhythm, boom, 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 but I want it to be, I want it to reset every time we've been reaching 128 beat. What do I want? I want, for example, my length to be 64. It means it's going to play on 64 bit and then be silent until the sequence reset on 128. So I'm going to have half of it. Actually, oh, sorry, I know what I did. Settings, I forgot to put this on. Clock, midi start, stop, start on trigger. Oh yeah, auto reset clock. What does that mean? Every time you push this clock button, it starts at 0 again. So it resets everything. So that's for this reason there was no sound. I couldn't understand. So I put setting back. You have, we will go through that later. Let's play. It will go until 64 bits. And then now it stopped for 64 bits. So it doesn't seem 64 bits. No, it's not 64 bits. It's a 64 division. So it's 16. It's 4 bars. No, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 8 times 8. Yes, 8 times 8, 64. So it's 8 bits. Sorry, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. Okay, if I want to add like another bar, like I can change the length to 64 plus 16. So it's going to be 80. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 3. So I did something wrong. 16. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Now you have this. But you want, for example, to alternate with another one, the track 2, and you want the track 2 to fill the gap. So what you're going to do is just the opposite. You will just put your length at 0. The length you will keep, you will put, for example, 16, which is 1 bar. 1 bar for 4 beats. And I will say you will start at 112. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So I did something wrong. There is something I don't understand with my counting, but 128, est-ce que je fais ça? 8, 128. 8, 64, 128, ouais, 128. Okay, there is something I do wrong, but you understand the meanings probably. 68, pourquoi j'ai... No, 32, 32, that's for this reason. 4 beats, it's 32. 8, it says 32. So I need to be at 90 something, 93. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3, 4. Ping, 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 ping. 1. Okay, that works. It's just I did wrong the multiplication. 8 is the division, so 8 is 1 bit. Because I'm on 8 division. If I want 4 bits, it's 8 by 8 by 4 times 8, which was 32. And I don't know, I was on 16, so I was on 2 instead of 4. So that's for this reason I was mixed up, but I understood. So now you have this sequence reset understanding. You can move the beginning, or you just have to think how long I want it to be and how offset is it from the sequence start. Okay, let's put this sequence reset back on 0. And the length on 0 and the start on 0, because I don't want to do this now. It's explained to you. Okay, now, what do? We will swap to another... no, I was about to speak about the morphing. So what I'm used to do, I will show you one of my tricks. Because when I play the harp, I don't have time to change, for example, on and off and quickly. I want just the snare, but it's too quick. You have to be on the right folder. Okay, it's too quick. So what I do, I decide to put all my volume up, which is now the case. And you see all the box, instead of being black, they are gray, because I've been touching all of those parameters, and it's gray until you say, you attribute them to one corner of your touchpad. So I will say, those parameters that I like, I want them to all. So it's copied everywhere here. Then I want to edit my sound. For example, I will put down all the volume of snare and the 2 hi-hats. So now I only have the kick. So I want the kick to be here on the left, so I click on the left button. And then it's black again, the box. So that means you can do another change. On the right, I want to have snare. But what I'm going to do also is to change the snap of the kick. And I want it to be on the right corner. Okay. Then I will add, so I put back here. I will add my first hi-hat. And I want to change the rate of my... Oh, my polyphony. Why is my snare not working? What did I do? For example, if I'm lost, I'm not lost, but and I don't want this change to stay. I just write revert, and then it's back to where I was, which was this kick. Okay, my snare is not loud enough. So instead of changing the volume here, what I will do is to change it into my sample menu. This way you will see. I go to sample. I turn my X knob to snare, I click on yes, and then I will push and turn until I have DBFS, and I will make it louder, like plus 6 dBs. Yes, and back, exit of the sample list by pushing back. And now I can listen. It's better. It's still not, it doesn't convince me. So sample, snare, DBFS. Yeah, I would say it's because of the envelopes, but yes, exit the sample list, go to the envelopes. Yes. And I shorten the attack. This way, it's more snappy on the beat. Okay? Back to this. And I want this with the hi-hat. That's going to be on the bottom right corner. So bass, kick, snare, hi-hat. And on the fourth one, I want kick, snare, hi-hat. I want snare, hi-hat, but I don't want the kick. And I want my snare to be lower. And the envelopes to be shortened. It sounds like a kick now. Okay, that's my corner number 4. So now, very easily, I can have my kick on its own. Kick, snare. Hola, woo! Everybody's dancing on the very dirty floor. It's smoke everywhere. And back. Okay. I leave you on this lovely music. It's gonna be the chart for next year. I'm sure it's gonna millions view for that. Billions view. Now you have the touchpad explained. And what is very cool, as you can see, you can change any parameters, any envelope, and also something very funny. No, that's for later. No, sorry. Every time you're on the engine, you can see where you are on the pad here. You have the little cross that goes where your finger is. So what I want to do, for example, now, I want to use the morphing. What I'm going to do is to push the morph button, select the bank. It's like a bank or memory 1. Because the memory 0, it's like the reset button. Choose a bank from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until 24. And what I will do, I will start the beat, and then I will push and keep pushed the rec button, record, and do some movement that will be recorded. And once I will take my finger off, it's going to be recorded. So 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, rec, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, rec plus 1. And then I want it to slowly go to the hi-hats. And now I just want it to be back on just snare. And now 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Top left corner. I remind you, it's going to be the chart next year, this summer. Everybody will dance on Depht. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hop. Then now, instead of an air like rec, you have an O like overwrite or. And what is very interesting too, I showed you the sequence reset, and you can have the motion sequence. Morphing sequence is resetted on the sequence reset if you use a sequence reset. So if you reset on every 264 division, it will start at 0 again. If you choose it in the settings, auto reset clock, and I think it's I think it's automatic, this one. You don't have to choose it. Okay, now we have a quad engine. You've been explained this morphing stuff. And if you want another morph, you just push morph, choose another bank, do another morph like a crazy one. And it's in the box. And once you're playing, you just select morph and change to the one that you just recorded before. That's going to work exactly the same for the melody, the sequence, and I'm now going to show you the pattern. So we had the pattern, which is nice, but I want to do something crazy like a 12/8. So what I'm going to do is click on pattern button, choose the bank 1. We were on bank 0. So everything is resettled at the beginning. It means there is nothing in the sequencer. It's empty. It's the gray 8. So I want to add the 4. I want to have the polyphony on something bigger because I want to hear everything, like 4. But I want the kick to be every 6. I want the hi-hat to be every 6 too, but with an offset of 6. This way it's going to be like a 6/8 appearing in the middle of a 4/4. That's going to be on 3, and that's going to be something crazy for this one, like on 2, no, 5/7, but resetting on 24. Oh, sorry, I was on swing. 24. And I will add some swing on the snare here. Let's listen. Oh yeah, I forgot to put the kick back on -2. 6/6. What did I do wrong with this? Oh, I did a mistake here. It's 3. Yeah. But I want this pattern, and sometimes I want to be back to the first one. It was a -2 for the kick. Oh yes, but I also have the morph stuff. Let's get rid of the morph, because the morph stays. If you don't ask him to change or to stay, it won't. It still continues. Let's swap this pattern to the other one. Okay. What I will do now, because I think it's what everybody wants this feature, I will work on the Q system now to swap in between this. Yes, I'll do it on the 2 pattern just to show you. So I want to be on Q0. Why does it start? Because on settings it says you can enable it, but start on Q trigger. So it's very interesting, because what I want to do, it's another request I have asked toward. It's to be able to control the Q start and stop with an external gear. And he did it. It's implemented in the version 3.1. And now I have my Morningstar MC6, which send a PC message to my Polypulse. And every knobs is could be MIDI mapped the way you want. It could be a CC message, a PC message. You say, I want this to be what it receives. It's receiving. So it's I will show you once we've been doing the trigger. Start on trigger to get off the exit menu by pushing. So what I want to do, edit, Q, you stay 2 buttons down. And if you want to edit Q0 or Q1, you just select the one you want to edit. And once you had the right Q, you get off. And here you have the length. I want, the first one is 32. So I want like 32 bits. So it's 4 bit, 32 division, 4 bits, 4 times 8. And what do I want on this? I want, and I can choose, for example, a pattern and choose it, write it. It's going to say, it's going to be pattern 1, because if you just follow, it says on the top right corner what this value is for. That's for value track 1 to 5, and that's track 1. It's the one we've been working on. The other one are empty. So if you want the track 1 to be set on pattern 0, that's what I want, and reset, I don't know. It's something new I haven't that I don't have. And I want also, for example, I want to these 4 bits to be just the kick, which is the top left. So I've been pushing shift and the top left. Okay. Now let's back to the other one. Edit, add a step. And I want another 4 steps. 32. What do I want? I still want the pattern. Oops, sorry. Yes, I want to edit pattern 1, rhythm 0. But what I want now, I push the arrow. I want shift this corner. So it's going to add the snare on its own, for example. Then what do I want? I say, yes, I want to add the steps. I will make it 32. But what I'm going to do this time, I will pattern, oh, yes, pattern number 1. So I've pushed in 1. If I'm not happy with what he wrote, I just can change it after that. And I want to have the top right corner. And then what I want, yes, edit, add the steps, which gonna do just 4 bars, for example. No, 64, something crazy. I want the people to jump everywhere. I want to be back on pattern 0, track 1, and this corner bottom left. So let's now see what it does. To exit this menu, shift and yes. And to start the cue without the controller, push Q and push, and you can see your keyboard here, and push the gray button. So we have, what do we have? 4 bar. Well, actually it was not, 32 wasn't the beat, it was a bar. Sorry, so it's longer than what I did. 1, 2, 3, 4 with a snare. So it's 16 because it's not the time division. It's how many beats, metronome beats. It's brand new for me too. And then it have been switched to the other pattern. And then it's going to be quite long, this one, because I was thinking it wasn't a beat, but smallest division, but it's a beat. It's in beat time. How many clock pulse? So it's 64 clock pulse. And then it will stop because I'm happy. Then it continues on what it is, but it won't loop it back because there is once again the push and turn X button. For what? You can change the clock multiplication, the clock division. You can change the start. It's gonna be that's for when you just push on the button. Does it change on the beat, or do you wait until the sequence is? For example, if I put 8, I think it's fine because it waits until you have the 8 beats. Is it right? I don't remember. Loop disable infinite times. So now I can play infinite times. We won't do it again because it's a long one, but you can trust me for that. What I'm going to do, for example, is delete the 2 last steps, and then now we can do the Q here, shift. Oh, sorry, Q. You have a counter, 18, 17. So it's 32 beats. Then you're going to have the snare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Snare. And then it will loop again to the beginning. So you can do a sound just with it. You see? We continue on this. Oops. You can define it's 2 times, 4 times until 9. I don't know how many times, which is crazy. Yeah? 70 times all of that. For I don't know. Can you hear morphing. It's wait. Oh yeah, it's not the morphing. It's just because it's changing. The kick is changing. The kick sound. Oh, there's something I missed. Anyway, so now I'm on Q, and I want to edit this Q. What I want to do is to add a MIDI mapping. So I say add the MIDI mapping, and I push on my controller. Oh, I'm not on the right page. I don't know where it is. It works. It was working when I was on the computer. Where did I put that? Test Q. Okay. I push on my button, and it have been receiving a program change one on channel 16. I used to trigger this Q, and I need to validate on the red button. So now if I push my button, it stopped. It started. It doesn't stop it, but it starts it. So now what we will do is to create another sound with the following track. So I put the volume down to 0. Track 2. We will do everything again. Edit. Track. What kind of engine do I want? I want a... which one is interesting? I like all of them. Let's do Substractive. Then I create quickly a rhythm. So this one I want a bass like so. So I will choose like what is it? Double crochet 8th note or 16th note. Yeah, that's what I want on this. So that's the rhythm I want. I'm happy. That's what I want. Now what I want is to have a melody line. So let's do this. So note list 0. Edit note list. With the red button I take off the note which was on it, and I will write on my keyboard the melody line. Well, okay, let's listen to it. So, okay, but it's not very interesting. Now, do, re, mi, re, do. Now, let's add some... I want these two notes, do, da, di, da, do, to be just one. So, I push and turn until it's changing here. You have the pitch that you can change. If I push and turn my X button, it changes the octave. If I push and turn, it's changed what type of note is it. That's a little note. That means it's played, no portamento. This one is played with portamento. This one is only portamento. This one is resonance. And this one is no sound. If I put no sound, it's subtle because the envelopes is still too short, so I don't listen to the note resonating, but it's resonation. And yes, let's keep that. And I want this one to be, for example, portamento stuff. And I will validate, put the slide very high, and see what's happened. Okay, now edit note list, and what I want to do, I want to put all this sound down. So there is a different possibility. For example, I can transpose. I'm in C minor. Let's do it in B flat minor. So -2. It's just moving everything down. You can copy notes and duplicate, for example. You can shuffle the notes. Actually, I like it. The thing is, this machine doesn't have an undo and redo thing. So if you want, you copy it on another track. If you like your first melody and you just have fun with the random. But I like the random. And what I will do, the first note, I will put 1 octave down. Okay, now what I want to do, I push and turn the X button, type DBFS. I want the first beat to be very loud. Okay, I want to have some notes. I push and turn, and instead of DBFS, I want to change the chance. So 5 is half chance, 2 is very rare, 8, it's 80%. Let's listen. Okay, I like it. I like it. What I will do, as I told you, yeah, edit not list. What I will do is edit copy notes. Say, oh, sorry, it's not what I wanted to do. Okay, that's fine. What I wanted to do is edit not list, copy note, and how does that work? Then I go to another list, like list 3, and I do edit. No, it doesn't work. I don't know what I did. Anyway, not list. Okay, let's stay on this one. I wanted to copy from one to another, but now we will manage the sound. So that's all we have. So let's listen the offset. It's kind of moving the same waves, and so it's like some phasing stuff. It's good to deepen the sound. Change the ratio. If you follow the ratio here, it's really adding the harmonics scale. So octave, fifth, octave, minor sevenths, augmented fourths, with all the real harmonics. That means when you go very high in ratio, it's out of tune. Perfect fifth, octave, major third, 2 octave, minor sevenths, 3 octave or 4. I think it's yeah, so it's very interesting. If you are on a single sound like a C, 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 it's really interesting to use that kind of ratio. Let's listen to shape. Yeah, it doesn't move from. That's for changing the wave from saw to square. There are 2 waves here. So what we will do now is to check the envelopes. The envelopes are this way. So let's listen to the envelopes. So that's like a cine wave. That's the second wave, oscillator. The third one, you can't hear it because it's a noise, and the noise haven't yet volume. So let's add some volume to the noise. Let's Let's change the envelope. And if I don't like the noise, I can swap it to another one, which you have a black box here. And this black box, if you push this button, you have sample. And what we're going to put is a sample. So we have that hi-hat list with the 4 hi-hats. And let's listen to what it does. Okay, and now the most important part of this filter is the filter section. You can choose the filter shape in between. You can see here it's moving. It's a low pass, a notch pass, a high pass, or a low cut. A notch on the other side, it's inverse notch. It means it just keeps low hand and high hands, and the other one just keep the middle section and not low hand and high hands. And then you have a high cut low pass. I don't know what's the difference in between the two of them. Maybe it goes back on normal, it's the same. And then you have the frequency of cut. So listen to what it does. So low cut, high cut, I open it. And like for the sound before, I will say that's my basic sound. So I want to put all the change to all the 4 corners of my trackpad. And I will make it evolute. Let's go to a notch filter and change the filter resonance. I like the sound with no hi-hats. Yes, let's do it. I put the snare sample and I want it to be the right corner. Now I put myself back on the right corner. Let's do a crazy ratio change. Let's change it to number. Okay, and what do I want to change? I can also change the envelopes. Okay, I made it quick just for the example. Top left corner, top right, bottom right, bottom left. If I want to add a morph, I can take the morphing that I had on the track 1, for example this one. And you will see the little star that will move. It works. Okay, now you have this. I think you understood. What is really interesting is what I was about to say. Yes, I want to make it more like for a bass. So I just go to the sequencer. I lower down the pitch from 1 or 2 octaves and listen. 1 octave. Okay, it's not nice because it's not nice, but whatever. I want now to do a cue on this one. I want to change and to have another cue because I have this one which starts, and when it starts, it just sets it sets it the way it is. It means if I haven't said the track 2 has to have another harmony or another melody, or it will just play the way it is if you haven't been talking of that. I mean, if I'm back on track 1, I go to the Q and I will edit Q1. There is another way to do here now. I want to edit. Oh no, it's not this. Okay, what I will do, I will erase everything, and instead of setting one by one, I will say edit, insert current state. And that's very interesting because now I've set the track 1 to pattern 0, not list 0, and motion number 6. And what I can do is to add also a set touch top left corner. Now, track 2, I don't want it to play. So what I'm going to do is I say track 2, you will be on pattern, on not list, for example, 3, because I know there is nothing in it. So I don't want, when I push the Q1, to have this track. But I want to leave the volume open. So I've done that. Track 2 is set to a not list which has no note into it, no notes. So let's see what it does now. If I push the Q button, I just have the track 1 playing because the track 2 is on a not list number 3, which has nothing into it. Now, what I do, I choose another sound. Like, for example, I put this track on a not list. I put the track 1 on the second pattern. I'm happy with that. Why is my... I'm not on the right note list. So... Okay, and now I will edit Q number 1. And on this Q number 1, I want, oh sorry, I'm on infinite time, so I push and turn my X encoder. Step length, I want it to do 3264. No, says 16 bits. And I want to insert the current state. And you will see, what does it say? Track 1 is on pattern 0. Oh, actually, it's not what I wanted. I want pattern 1. Okay, not list 0, it works, motion 6. And the second is on track 2. The track 2 is on pattern 0 and not list 0 and motion 1. Okay, so now exit this and edit Q number 1. And what I want to do is to add a MIDI mapping, and I push to another one. It's a program change 3, channel 16. I said yes. So now, if I push my first button, it's going to be the first Q. And now it's been, no, it's not yet moved. Okay, we are on this one. That's what I wanted to say. To see, you have to do edit Q and the number which is actually playing. And now, oh, it's back on the other one normally. Is it or not? No, it doesn't. What did I do? Oh no, sorry, it doesn't change because I haven't been pushing on the button. Let's push now. Okay, it wasn't nice, but when I played, I pushed. What I want to check is with you is, okay, I've set the Q0 that starts after 8, but I haven't done the same. Oops, sorry. Edit Q number 1. Start on number 8. Why doesn't Then I'm back on Q1 because I pushed on it. And if I push, yeah, okay, it's in time, it's synced. I've been pushing. Okay, it works. It's just I took some too crazy rhythm. But when you push, it waits until it finishes what it was about to do, and it starts on the beat. It doesn't start in the middle of something. It starts on, I think it's that is for. So then you have a possibility to include, copy the code and paste somewhere around. Insert control flow. It's like a language developed for the Polypulse. If you have that, you can trigger that. But it's still brand new. I'm not using it because I have everything I want now. I just have one button to put an infinite loop on a rhythm, another one which is for another infinite loop on something else because I'm on the B parts of my songs. I can use a third button to change, and with a MIDI controller I can, for example, say if you push state 1, it's going to be verse, state 2, so I can say the momentary push, it's a verse, chorus. If I stay longer, it's a bridge. I can do whatever I want with a Morningstar, but we are not on the Morningstar tutorial. What we are about, it's Polypulse. Okay, so now I did some mistake in the code because I erased something. So it says to you, okay, it's not proper. You need to do it differently. So I said yes. That's a queue system, which is amazing, controllable. And what else do I have to say? Because it's only an hour and 32 minutes. I want to go briefly through all the kind of track you can have. And what is cool is you have to understand the melody is separate of the rhythm, which is separate of the morphing. You can add a morphing on the pad to one sound, another one, another rhythm. The pattern also could be set to another sound, another synthesizer. I will show you some of the granular engine, edit track. I want the granular, okay. Then I had quickly just a rhythm like every 8 notes. And then for granular to work, you need to add a sample because it's based on a sample. What I will do is to file. I go to my file, root, and I take a voice. Okay, I create a new ulist, voice. Validate. I now have a voice. I exit the sample list by pushing samples. I go to voice and I listen. So let's now move. You have like a target here. I love this because for soundscape it's just amazing. You can do some you just have to add a delay on that. Chance, it works like the chance here. It means if you want to have half of the time related to your beat. Ting, 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 ting. You see? You have some gray lines, that means it hasn't been played. So let's put that back on 100%. Detune. Ratio. It could be on another samples. Shape of the envelopes. Okay, and now what I want to do, so that's a granular. It's one sample, and you change the target. You can morph the same. I can morph something that I've already done. Yes, but it's crazy because I'm stupid to do it, because I can morph, but the sound is the same everywhere, so it won't change something. I can say that is my left corner, and I want to have a quicker attack. It's gonna be the right corner, and then I want to have biggest variation, biggest envelopes. It's gonna be the top right corner, and now I can add some morphing and I can play. It moves to top right. Top bottom right corner. Top right corner, etc. So you can manage that very easily. Now if I want, I can send it to, what do I send it to? Settings, and you can go to your routing, send FX routing. So you can send it to track 5. That's for this reason I've added some tape here. It's because I wanted to have a fixed volume, because sometimes I was saying, oh, I have no, it doesn't work. Yes, it doesn't work because the volume of my FX wasn't set to 100%. So that's for this reason I've left that. My FX routing goes to track 5, where I can use the internal effect of the Polypulse, which are amazing. The only problem I have with this, I love this machine so much I would change for nothing else. But when you use some effect, polyphony, and some FM or additive synthesizer, if you put too much, the CPU is running too high, and you can't get the 5 tracks working together. So that's a CPU limitation. That's the only thing. But if my dream machine would be the same, with just a little more CPU, RAM, I don't know inside what it is based on, but I'm sure it's a 5 volts. I don't know. What I know is I would love this machine with more CPU. But so I find a way sometimes. I take off some polyphony, and the other way to avoid this problem is to send the tracks to external effect. That's what I want to say now. I push the Y encoder. I can send the effect into the main output, so it doesn't make sense if you already have your signal in 1 and 2. But I can send them to 3 and 4 and put 3 and 4 into a compression, delay, whatever you want, 5, 6, or 7, 8. I'm going to do that on track 5. So what happens on track 5 now? So exit by pushing settings menu. I'm going back on my track 5. Track 5, edit track 5. There is none, but I don't need it to have anything into track 5 because I just want the effect to work. So I don't need a Substractive engine on an additive or Granular. I just want nothing. I just want the effect. So I push back, and then I push FX. And if you push FX, you have these 4 lines are dedicated to FX. And one of the FX which is on every track is what it's called stereo. Stereo, oh, actually it's a delay on this one. Normally, if I push FX on the track 1, you have the stereo. The stereo allows you to open the image. Let's listen to it. I close the... Okay, it's right in the center. Now I open the image. It's really stereo, right, left. And if I add some movement, it goes from right to left, which is not nice for a kick, but it's nice for a voice, for example, here. So let's change it. The spread is in the middle for the drum machine, but for this, track 3, FX, and I open it. That's really, it deserves that kind of song. And I can set it to the right or the left with this knob, pan. Okay, let's now back to the effect, track 5. There is already a delay. So how do you add an FX? Edit, FX, add an FX. There is already a delay, so I will add the reverb. Yes, then it asks where do you want to set the position. With the Y button, you will, X button, you say, right? So it's lighting on the right of the existing FX, which is a delay, on the left. So the reverb goes after the delay, but depending of what you want to do. Then I say yes, and the reverb is added. So the delay, which was here, it's still here, but you have a new line, which is for the reverb. If I have, if I had, I've been adding the reverb before the delay, then the delay lines would have been pushed down. So every time you had an effect, for example, I will do it and you will understand. I will do edit FX, add an FX, and I will add a drive. And I will put the drive on top. Then you have drive, delay, reverb. So I will put at 0 my drive, put my delay at 0, and put my reverb at 0. This way I can listen to what it does. So I send all of my signal into the send, but there is nothing happening. So let's add some drive. Oh. You can add a low cut and you can change the shape. Oh yeah, I haven't seen this. A sine wave shape. Interesting. If I take that's a dry signal, wet signal with the drive, and the sine wave. Let's do a soft medium, yeah. And the low cut at 100%. Dry, wet. Okay, let's keep that. Now, delay. This delay clean, but you can change the algorithm. So first we change the type, normal. Let's change it to ping pong. Let's change the interval. I lower down the tempo. Let's now change the synchronization to false. So you can change in millisecond what you want. Until 3 seconds to 2 milliseconds. If you want a slap back, 75 milliseconds. Or just back to true. So 6, the interval of 6, it's like 8 dotted 8 notes. You have the feedback button. Oh, sorry. And then you have something amazing, which is, that was the algorithm clean, but you have the digital one. Same quality feedback. Then you have an analog one with a low pass. A low pass at 800 Hz. It's very interesting to darken the signal. And then you can change to another one, which is Bucket Brigade. And I love it. You change the multiplication. Okay. And what we haven't seen yet, and the reverb, let's listen. So I put back the dry and the delay. And let's listen to the reverb. You have different algorithm, large, medium, small. So it's for drum, it's nice to have a small one. You have a low cut, high cut, sorry. With without, with 30%, 36, with modulation. Let's now put it back to for the voice, for example. Let's send the voice. Let's change it to, yeah, you have tiny also, but I want to put large. With lots of modulation. Without 50%. With an infinite sustain. I've stopped it to listen to the resonance. I love it. It's really beautiful. And then you can change the color. 14 bits, 12 bits, clean, lossy, noisy. Let's listen to 40 bit. 12 bit. Clean. And let's open a little more the filter. Yes, I was my Q was too down for, it was okay for the drum, but not for the voice. So that's an infinite feedback, and you can do some change your set when you finish a song. So you can put a corner with 100%, for example, and then you can do something else and be back, and the sounds continue. Let's listen again to the reverb with no filter, no low pass filter. Okay, let's go to noisy. I put it down because it's too much. $14 bits. Yeah, it's large. Large is the biggest one. I love this noise, white noise in the back. It's lovely. I love the algorithm into it. I think the job is amazingly done. And if you, my tricks is I only do a reverb and a delay. I put 0% delay and reverb, 100% or something like a 50 or a big amount of delay here. Delay plus maximum reverb, only reverb. And then I can, just by touching, I decide this. So you know how to do it. For example, 0, 0 is my top left corner. My top right corner is a bit of delay. A bit like, I don't know, see 50% top right. Then 50% delay and... I forgot to put back the... So what I do... Yeah, and reverb. And you can see that's nice here. I know there is nothing here. Then up, only delays. This is not right because I should have both. So this now works. And here I should have only this one. So what I will do is to put this one. Yes, now I have it. Nothing. Delay and reverb. Only reverb. So let's listen to it. Nothing. Delay. Only reverb. Delay and reverb. Okay, so this box is amazing for that. I love it. You've seen how quick you just need to get rid of, to get used to, but once you have it, for how quick it could be. You have this revert button when you do so much change. No, it's not what I wanted. Revert, and it goes back to where it was before all the change. So that's really nice. Another things we haven't seen, and I think I will finish on that. It's a modulator. So let's go back to a track with drum. Okay, what do I want here? Oh, here I'm still stuck on the FX window, so just push FX again and it's back to the engine. What I want, for example, my snare. No. I want my snap, the snap of my kick to change. Edit, and I push the encoders, and I want to add a modulator, and I want to add an LFO. And then it won't change because I haven't put any amount. So that the 4 buttons down are the one that goes for the modulator. So now what does it do? It's changing the snap. When it's down, the scene there is no snap, and on top there are snap. Frequency is the speed. Or very slow. If you want something very progressive like a soundscape. I like it. Fold, it's changing the waves. So it's to give some like accidents to your waves. Then pushing the black button, you can change it to invert. So it's inverting, but it doesn't make sense because up and high or high and up and down or down and up doesn't change a lot in this case. But you can choose only positive, so you will have 100 snappy or 50%, 100% or 50%, or negative. So no snaps, 50%. No snaps, 50%. That's the way it triggers the button. Then you can change another wave, rising, and we will put it to normal. So when it's you can see it with the frequency higher. And you can have normal falling so it doesn't work that much on kick, but on the sound it works well. Square, so 100% 0, 100% 0. So that's how square works. Random and cine waves. Then you can trigger it with, that's very interesting because you can trigger it every time you have a note. So it means, for example, if you have the tui, every time you have a note on a melody could be tu ti to ta to ti to ta tui tui tu tui tu tui tui. So that's on the note. So you just have to say true, and then you. Every time you have the kick, every time you have one note in the kick, it starts the shape from the beginning. You can trigger it differently. You can trigger it on the sequence reset. For example, if you have a long evolving, slowly changing sound, you can say once it's resetting on every 64 beats, it starts on the beginning. So you have something very deep this way, and every time it goes back on the first beat and the first sequence, boom, it starts again the envelopes. You can have a touchpad. Touchpad, what does that mean? Track 1 touchpad. That's something I don't know. And then you can change the pulse. Pulse 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 4 lines we've seen in the sequencer. So you can decide that, for example, the bass will have will low down every time the kick on another track push. So you can have a parallel parallel compression. No, not parallel compression. I don't remember. Sidechain compression. You can have a do every time the kick pushes. You can have a rise down in the bass, do, and having this kind of effect, techno effect. Everything is just amazing. I love it. You can have a sequence reset on this track that change the envelope on this one. So it's kind of infinite. The only one I don't understand is touchpad yet. So, or just not on, it's nice because every time you have a note, it's triggering the envelope. I think you've seen nearly everything. What do I have to say? You can edit any parameters. It could be, for example, so yes, this window appears in the envelope window. So if you turn your Y button, you have the 4 envelopes of the quad engine. Then all the modulating that you've been putting into. So if you put 7 LFO in your first track, you're gonna have 7 page of that, and it's always indication modulating what quad engine the snap of the track 1. And if I add, for example, I will do it this way, you will understand. I will add edit clock, add a modulator, and you will see it's totally crazy what I'm gonna do. I will put an LFO on the division, so it will slow down and go quicker. So let's do something a little slow. It will increase the tempo and decrease the tempo following this LFO. If I change to rising, it will down quickly, go slow, and then slowly up. Boom, 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 boom. The opposite, falling, it will quickly go quick and decrease. And now, if I want to go back to the other page, quad engine snap. I turn clock multiplication. Envelope 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 snap. So it's very easy once you know. But at the beginning, I was thinking, where is my page with the modulation? And then I found it. It's just here, after the envelopes. So that's the crazy things, because to have this ability to change the tempo, and what's interesting is also to say, I want this to be triggered by a sound. For example, on track 2, you put a gong, bong, and every time you have the gong, doom, it slows down the tempo and it's getting up again. And every time you have the gong, it starts again. So that's what's amazing with this machine. Once again, once you understand how LFOs and can drive an encoder, that's great. Okay, I think I've shown you nearly everything I know. There is no secondary menu. The only things we have is a push and turn and just turn. I didn't say that before. Oh, yes, I did say multiply. For example, if you just turn, it's multiplication 8, 16, 32, 64. But if you push and turn, you have all the finest tuning. It's the same with everything. Rate 1, if I turn, it's 1.5 and 2. But if I push, it's 1, 101, 102, 103. Yeah? And if I push, just turn, it will consider what I did. So, for example, if I put 110, it's going to be 210. 110, 160, up. 110, 160, 210. And if I put back on 2, 201, 251, 101. So it's related. It's always a multiplication. So it's really well thought. Yes, now some other engine, but quickly because time is turning. So what is very interesting, but I think Ward did a video on that, it's to use a resonator. Resonator works this way. Let's add what's his name? A quarter note here. Oh, it's already on my note list number 1. But let's do to another note list, which is the same than the bass. Where is my bass? Oh, what did I do with my bass? Okay, track 4. Okay. So now we have the bass playing the melody in 8 notes and this one in quarter notes. So if you're very good in fugue like Bach, you can write that kind of what we call in classical world diminution or augmentation, rhythmical augmentation, or what even I love Olivier Messiaen, and he was used to do canon by adding the dot. So you have one melody that does 8 note, 8 note, 8 note, and 8 note, and the other one 8 note dotted, 8 note dotted, and etc. So you can do this with that very easily. You just have to have, like, for example, melody with a rhythm on 8, and the other one on 12, which is 8 dotted. It's 12 because a dot in music, classical music, it adds half of the value. So half of 8 is 4, so 8 plus 4 is 12. So you can have 8 playing a melody, the same melody played in 12, and another one that plays 12 dotted, 12 plus 6, 18. So that's something very crazy. So, oh. It really sounds like a fugue, fugetta. Okay, I had to get rid of the... How to get rid of modulations, because it's a bit too much. Edit. So I'm back on track 1. Edit, push the clock. What do you want to do? I want to remove a modulator. Yes. I want to remove the LFO. Yes. Now... Okay. And now what I wanted to say on track 4, which is a Resonator Synthesis, I want to add a sample, because that can morph your sound. I will just play it on its own. I put the volume of the sample to 0, and I will slowly add my hi-hats, and I will double the speed, same as the bass. And I had some... Okay, now let's increase the volume. That's what Ward was calling resonator. You use like the texture of a sound to morph the sound that you have here, and I love it, because if you have a list, it makes it very humanized, like a very I don't find the word. But that on the delay. Reverb and delay. Let's play with the... Okay. I didn't play the harp, but it's not the question about the harp. Now, my job will be to do the best with this machine and my harp and my effect. I hope it was helpful, and it really helped the people that was asking for more in-depth tutorial. Feel free to just write me or give me a call in France. I can send you my telephone. It's everywhere on the internet anyway. If you really are stuck with something, I still haven't explained. You have 4 outputs, but you are 8 output, 4 inputs. But I tried one, so I've been putting my harp into the inside effect. But as I said, this machine is a dream machine, except the fact the CPU is quickly reaching 100%. If you use 2 to 3 engine, it works fine. But once you had the effect here, 4 engine, if you use a lot of samples, long time samples, lots of polyphony, it quickly reach 80% where you get troubles. But for the MIDI clock, it's perfect. MIDI sending, I've been also controlling an Arturia sound, what's the name? AudioFuse 16. It perfectly works. Everything MIDI mapping is totally fine. I didn't show you maybe in the track 4. Let's do this track 4 into external. Once you're in external, you can do that. You push an encoder, and then you edit, choose, and you choose what do you want, which value you want. So, no, it's not the way I do it. Edit. Add a MIDI channel, MIDI mapping. So, for example, if you have a synthesizer in MIDI 6, set MIDI channel 6, set your, I don't know what, Q mix masha in 61 CC. Then you set the label, so you can say, I don't know, matrix brute, matrix MTXB for matrix brute plus filter, whatever. And it's working perfectly. It really works perfectly. And if you want to change the MIDI, you can, for example, have in the same, so these 4 buttons are for the MIDI. You can send on MIDI 5 like your rhythm, and then on the MIDI 4 you can send so that's independent of that. So if you have a melody line, it could be, for example, sent to MIDI 5 and 4. You can put the same timing here, and you can send it to 2. You can send it to 2. Oh, I wasn't on the right. You can send the same melody on one keyboard, another one on MIDI 4, and then also have control of another synthesizer which is on MIDI whatever, because it's independent. That's the 4 MIDI are related to the 4 lines of your sequencer, and the MIDI not related. But the other part, you can control another machine with effect, for example, a reverb. That's what I was doing before. And then I tried to put everything into the box. But you can change the value here, and you have values. You have 12 encoders plus 4 ways to send your melody or rhythm. And you can only control the MIDI note on, MIDI note off. So you send your MIDI note on, ping, and then you say it's going to be open for 60 milliseconds, and then it stops. So it's interesting, but all the Portamento stuff isn't done here, except if you have MPE stuff, MPE low. But I don't have MPE, so I don't know if it works well or no. So that's for this reason I didn't say something about that. I love this machine. I love the builder of that. It's amazing how quick he's answering on the forum. I've been talking enough. I will now go to the edition of this video, and I wish you a good day, and feel free to contact me if you have any question. But the forum, Lambda Synthetic forum, is very Word always replies below 24 hours. And you can have request, and he's really listening to request. He's been implementing something for me, tap tempo. What else? The send. I said it would be great to have some songs with a memory of how much send you were sending to, for example, Reverb. And he did it. So now I can open a project with my volume down, but in the memory of the Polypulse, it's 50%. And it's great because I don't have to remember me, okay, oh yes, on this voice, that's right, I put some effect. So that's so great. Even for our external gear, which is great because I can now control external gear and without thinking, oh yes, on this song there is 20% to send to the reverb. And if your reverb is also MIDI capable, you can say, okay, it's a room and I want this 50% out for the, it's a room for drum. Then you can change with your Morningstar to all, because on the next song it's a voice and you want 70% out for the voice. So that's so great. I think I've talked enough. Have a good day. Please leave a comment if you feel free to leave a comment if you wish so. Please correct my mistake and have a good day. Ciao, ciao.